What's up, good people? We are back with Mind a Cure. I'm Dr. T, and I am here to help you beautify your mind. We are going to be talking about ways to not only beautify the outer us, but also to beautify our inner man, our spirit, and our soul. We ain't got time to be depressed, to be bogged down with anxiety. We deserve to be living a life of joy and peace. And here we are going to be discovering the secrets to do exactly that. Our last couple of conversations have been around the idea of made in the shade. How do you take shade when it is thrown and turn it into something that can help you improve, grow, stretch, blossom, and live your life like you have it made in the shade? How do you flip the nasty feedback into something that feeds you? And we covered how do you retaliate through elevation back to the knowledge of who you truly are, what is good and lovely about you, regardless of what other people say. Then we talked about how do we retaliate through evaluation. Even if I don't like the package that the message is being delivered in, is there something in that message that I can use to help me improve myself? How do I take negative feedback and turn it into a positive, uplifting experience for myself? How do I evaluate what is going on with the other person as I retaliate so that I don't take something that is going on with them, their issues, on as about me? So today we are going to continue this conversation by talking about retaliation through invitation. And so we've been talking about all these beauty secrets behind wearing sunglasses. And so I've introduced to you several different opinions about what sunglasses do, how do shades improve your confidence, boost your good feelings. But then there are some studies and some scientists who are saying that wearing shades can trigger your brain into thinking that it's an overcast day, and wearing shades can worsen depression. And then there are these other studies that are like, well, we did this study and we found that people who wear shades are more likely to actually engage in shady behavior. I guess because it's kind of like they're wearing a mask, and people perceive others who they see wearing shades as less than trustworthy. So we have these scientists who are doing their best to figure out the truth, but they end up on two sides of the same coin. Shades are great. Shades are terrible for you. And now there is an opportunity for conflict. So just in the same way as these two opinions have to be navigated, resolved, shade is basically a matter of differing opinions. I think I'm cute. You don't. I think I know a lot. You think I'm stupid. I think that I bring a lot to the table. I have something to offer. You think I'm screwing things up. This is what happens when shade evolves and is introduced into a conversation. So, what do? How do we respond to this difference of opinion? I have to tell you that I have some personal experience with this, and I don't know what it is about this hot Carolina girl that got under the skin of those Georgia peaches where I was working in Riverdale, Georgia. But it was a beautiful day at the hospital. Dr. Prelo was showing up to do her best work, dig in, get her fingers dirty, take good care of the patients, listen to their troubles, tell me all about your burdens, I'll help you carry them. And I walk on the unit, and a staff person who is notorious for being nasty to patients was doing her thing. She was antagonizing a kid who was there because they were struggling, depressed. That's not therapeutic. She was telling the kid that they had to stay in their room. She wasn't going to let them out. They couldn't have breakfast. So as the esteemed Dr. Prelo, the medical director, I decided to intervene. And I sashayed myself down there. I said, no, this is not what we're going to do. We're going to do this, this, and this. And I was so proud of myself, y'all. I was like, go girl, you just doing a good job today. So in comes Miss Ma'am back to the nursing station. She does all these bodily signals that's letting me know that she's not happy with what I did. And then she marches back down the hall, mumbling something negative about me under her breath. Shade was thrown, shots were fired, and I was not having it that day. But I remembered like, oh yeah, I'm a Christian, I'm a good person, so I can't like pull the wig off and let's go. So I wait for her to come back to the nursing station. Now this Miss Ma'am is tall, broad shoulders, no frills, just straight, natural locks that she was maintaining on her own. No makeup, no earrings, no nothing, just And so I say, Miss Ma'am, I would like to invite you to a conversation. I didn't say that part, but I did say, did you have a problem with what I just did? And boy, when they turn, you know, when people just give that little slight turn to their neck like that, you know what's coming is not about to be good. So I braced myself. I don't know you. I don't even know your name. I don't even know why you talking to me. I said, excuse me, ma'am. I'm the medical director. I am Dr. Tiona Prelo. I don't care. And she marches out. And I'm like, well, that went well. So a smarter version of me would have left that situation alone. But I said, no, I still have to work with her. She's my colleague. Let's go make it right. Let's fix it. So I'm off the unit and I see her walking down the hall and she's linebacking it down the hall, and I say, excuse me, Miss Ma'am. Now this time I, elevated the octave of my voice tone a little bit. I made sure that I was very sweet and kind. And I said, excuse me, Miss Ma'am, that little interchange that we had on the nursing station, I wanted to just check in and see if we could maybe start over. Don't you be talking to me. I don't even know why you looking at me. You better get out. And then all of a sudden, something started to rise up on the inside of me. I don't know where it came from, but all I know is my head went this way and my hand went that way. And I was saying, listen here. And then my boss comes walking down the hall. She's never seen that part of me come out. So she's like, oh, whoa, what's going on? And then the nurse practitioner that I supervise comes walking down this end of the hall, and she is ready to go to blows with Miss Ma'am on behalf of her medical director. And then Miss Ma'am's boss comes walking from this end of the hall, and she's ready to go to blows in defense of her staff member. So you guys, I did invite her to a conversation. The shade was thrown and I invited her to a conversation, but the way that I invited her was more like a meet me outside. It was an invitation to confront rather than converse. And as a result, I didn't get the results that I wanted out of that conversation. You know what happened? I soured the relationship permanently. After that day, we never spoke again. She never looked at me. I never looked at her. She never greeted me. I never greeted her. I also soured my reputation. And it took me a while to be able to repair that because I wanted to be known as a leader who was supportive, humble, a good listener, and didn't make assumptions. But that's not what I conveyed. In my response to the shade, I created a representation that said, I know best and you don't know anything. I'm in charge and you're not. You listen to me, and that's the end of the day. And it took months and months and months for me to reverse that reputation once I established it. And finally, I was not satisfied with the results. My intention at the beginning of that exchange was for her to understand that I was asking her to do what I felt was right for the patients, and that's why we were all there. It could have been a teaching moment, but I missed the mark, and she never learned that lesson. We repeatedly, over and over and over again, had to redirect her behavior towards the patients. But if I had allowed myself to learn the lesson of resolving shade through a true invitation, I could have maybe helped her to be better at her job, and the patients would have actually benefited. In Proverbs 15:1, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. I sure stirred up some anger that day. And in Timothy 2:23 and 24, it says, don't have anything to do with foolish and stupid arguments, because you know they produce quarrels, and the Lord's servant must not be quarrelsome. So, my friends, let's purpose in our heart to be made in the shade by retaliating through invitation, not to confrontation, but to true and meaningful and loving conversation. And we will reap the rewards of responding righteously. Joy, peace, happiness, healthy relationships. Let's get this mind a cure. If this was helpful to you, like it, share it, throw some comments in the comment section, and join us again for Mind a Cure with Dr. T.
Help me, Lord, I need